What's up, gamers? So the Weaponsmith City project finally rolled out. They added some cool new arrows, a new quest, and some new starting gear, but they also made it so that certain items in your inventory no longer stack their stat buffs. So in this video, I'll be going over exactly which items got fixed and which items you can still abuse. So let's get right into it. First up is vicious stacking. So if you didn't already know, you could enchant wands of any kind with vicious, and then it would basically act as a talisman and grant ferocity. So recently this got fixed, as you can see from my very factual evidence here. So this no longer works. Next up is Hoe's giving speed. So if your Hoe is reforged to either bountiful or blessed, you can see that it gives a speed stat. Now this used to work while the Hoe was just in your inventory, but now you have to actually hold the Hoe to gain its stats. So without holding anything, I have 300 speed, as you can see down here. When I hold the Hoe, I have 320 speed, and when I stop holding it, I go back to 300. And when I take it out of my inventory, my speed does not change at all, so Hoe stacking with speed is fixed. On a related note, farming for dummies, which is what gives that 5 farming fortune here, that no longer works if the Hoe is just in your inventory. You now actually have to hold the Hoe to gain that farming fortune. So without holding anything, I have 226 farming fortune. If I drop the Hoe out of my inventory, my farming fortune does not change. Now, when I hold the Hoe again, I actually have 326, but that's just because of enchantments and the Hoe buffs. So the point is, farming for dummies no longer stacks. This next one takes place inside Master Mode dungeons. The talisman in question is the Master Skull. Now, all 7 tiers of this talisman used to stack with each other. So as you can see, the tier 1 gives plus 1% health and strength, and the tier 2 gives plus 2%, and basically all 7 of them would stack multiplicatively, and you would just get a ton of health and strength in Master Mode. But now that is no longer the case. So if I drop this tier 1 out of my inventory, my health doesn't change at all. It's still 1500. If I drop the tier 2, still 1500, and same with tier 3. But now if I drop the tier 4 out, my health will go down. However, if I drop both the tier 4 and the tier 3 out, my health goes down twice. So basically how it works now is the highest tier you have, that's the one that gives stats in your inventory. However, the reforges still do stack. So my strength right now is 686. If I drop even the lowest tier 1 out of my inventory, my strength is going to go down to 679, and if I pick it back up, it goes back up to 686. Now if I drop both the tier 1 and tier 2, my strength goes down to 671. If I drop the 3 and 4, it goes down even further. So each of these talismans will stack their reforged stats as well, as long as they are unique. The next one is Ender Artifact and Relic stacking. So these two still stack their damage reduction to end mobs. If I have both of them in my inventory and this guy hits me, it deals 101 damage. Now if I remove one of them from my inventory, let's say the weakest one, I will now take 137 damage. And if I switch them out, I am now taking 147 damage. So that just goes to show they are different in their damage reductions, but when together, they do stack. Oh, and it's probably good to note that their reforges never stacked in the first place, and they still do not stack. Next is the Titanium Talisman family. So I've got 3 tiers, the Relic, the Ring, and the Talisman, and they will stack both their ability, which is the mining speed, and their reforged stats. So I'll just take my strength and mining speed as example stats here. My mining speed with all 3 of these is 1002, and my strength is 577. If I drop the lowest tier 1, you can see both stats will go down. If I pick it back up, both stats return to normal. If I drop the middle tier 1, both stats again will go down. And if I pick it up, it'll return back to normal. And if I drop all 3, my stats will drop even more, and when I pick them all back up, my stats will go back to normal. The next family is the personal deleters. So these will stack their menu that you can configure items to delete, and they will also stack reforged stats. So if I have both of these in my inventory, my strength is 573. If I drop this one, my strength goes down. When I pick it up, my strength goes back up. And if I drop the other one, my strength will also go down. The next one is the Beastmaster Crest family. So these ones are a bit weird. They have an ability that gives pet XP, and they also have some base stats at higher tiers, and they also give reforged stats if you reforge them. Now, the reforged stats and the base stats, such as the health and intelligence here, they will not stack, but the pet XP boost does. So if I have both of them active, and I'll just like get a random pet here, this Enderman has 237.5 XP. If I kill this Crypt Ghoul...
You weren't supposed to do that!
Okay, now this Enderman has 33.6 XP if I've got both Talismans, and I kill this Crypt Ghoul. This goes up to 129.7. Now if I take the lower tier one out, and I kill a Crypt Ghoul, I get 225.4. Now I can't do quick math like that, so you'll just see some numbers and words on screen right now explaining. But the point is that they will stack their pet XP boost, and they always have done so. And that's it. Here's a full list of what works and what doesn't anymore. If you found it helpful, maybe share it with a friend or like the video, and I'll see you next time.